Let's share the screen. What we're going to do, we're going to go over the centerpiece project. All right, so here are things we need to do. First, we start a part. And we're going to start a sketch in the XY layer, in the XY plane. And we're going to draw a rectangle that is, I don't want the center point rectangle. Normal rectangle. I want it to be 10 inches wide by 7 inches tall. This is the space that we have to cut things on the laser cutter, and we need to keep within there. Zoom all. There is my working space. All right, the next thing I'm going to need is a picture of a tree. So let's stop sharing and let's start sharing. That's funny. The other away. Let's say we want a drawing of a tree. Tree drawing. We could have an actual tree for this, but it'd be harder. Simpler trees are better. Pick that tree, but I could pick that tree. I could pick that tree. I could pick that tree. I'm just going to get this one though. I do this one. I'm going to go to this here. I'm going to right click. I'm going to hit save image as. I'm going to choose a different image because image as, not sure. Okay, good, JPEG. I want to make sure it's not save link as, because HTMLs won't go there. It has to be save image as. There we go. We can't copy the image. It's not a cut and paste kind of program. You can choose other trees here. Frankly, you can choose anything that has radial symmetry, as in it's an object that it doesn't matter which direction you look at it, it looks pretty much the same. Those all work well. If you try to do a object like, let's say, a teddy bear, you would have to have a different picture for the front and a different picture for the side view, which, you can. It's twice as much work. Some people can. Snowmen work well. All right, so I'm going to go and insert this picture. So go image, and I click on the image, and I click there, and I right click, and hit OK. Also makes multiple, and I want to be able to fit 2 of these onto this piece of paper. So I'm going to scroll out a little bit. Go get the resize bar there, a little bit smaller. It thinks it's so far out. All right, well, there we go. Maybe a little bit bigger. Not crooked. Yeah, that'll do. All right, now, AutoCAD doesn't recognize JPEGs. They're a rasterized image rather than a vector image, as in it's defined by ... rather than equation of line, equation of line, equation of line. It doesn't do well with them. What you're going to have to do is put some vector images over the tree to get you drawn. I'm just going to do this with a ton of arcs. You click there, put it in between. It's a good habit to get into. Make sure you got a little green dot in between them. Green dot, beginning, end. All right. Well, I will continue on. You can tell this is at my end of my conference because cleanup song came on. I don't mess up. I'll leave it in now. I feel like re-recording this. So I go through and I just trace the drawing. For a lot of things, this is a skill that I'll probably reuse. Everything pretty much needs to have a design on it. And this is one of the more straightforward ways to get a design of something that already exists. So if you want some brand name, some shape that you don't have to draw yourself, you get a picture, you just trace it. Making sure that as you go, you got green dots. If you don't have green dots, here's one thing that you can do. So you'll notice there's little dotted lines there. That's to align stuff so that these lines line up, which is a good thing because we need to put a line on the bottom. Now, if it's not already horizontal, which it's going to be, so use the alignment dots, you're going to have to use the, I know. You're going to have to align it. If I click it here, it's going to complain. It says, hey, it's already horizontal. What are you doing? But if it's not already horizontal, make it horizontal. And we don't need the drawing anymore, so I just click on it and delete. And lo and behold, there's a tool. You can mess with it if you wish to make it a little bit nicer looking. You can go into individual dots, mess with them. Oh, you're gonna make a liar out of me. I don't know why that other one didn't want to be messed with, but there we go. That's slightly less messed up with a trunk. What we're going to want to do from this point is we have we're going to have two trees that interlock with each other. How it's going to stand up. So I'm going to need to place something for it to interlock with. I'm going to switch this over to a center point rectangle. And if you hover along here, there's a green dot for the middle. That's where I'm going to want to start. And since it's a center point rectangle, that rectangle is going to start centered. The width of this rectangle is going to be 0.5 millimeters. Yes, metric. Ooh, scary. And I'm just going to make sure it goes above the tree. And you say, but wait, now I have this giant rectangle hanging out. I'm just going to go pick trim. I'm going to trim pretty much everything that's outside the tree here. I don't need anything outside the tree. Oh, it says the dimension is going to complain if I get rid of that dot. Remove the dimension. All sorts of noises. I can go in and delete these little dash lines too, if I so choose. But if I don't, it's not the end of the world. Right, well, I'm just going to from this point on. I don't really need to remove them. I'm going to switch out from trim tool. I'm going to make an. I'm going to select everything. There we go. There's everything. I'm going to pick the copy command, and it says first select stuff, and then select a base point. So I'm going to click on that right arrow. I'm going to let's click this base point here. I want to line it up straight. And there we go. Hit continue. Oh, it's a little bit outside the range. Move. Base point here. Just bring it in. Okay. Let's try that again. Select everything. Base point here. Keep it lined up with the other tree. But inside the printing area, there we go. Then I'm going to make a line about halfway through the tree. It's nice if it's exactly halfway through, but it doesn't need to be. It needs to be at the same spot on both trees. And I'm going to cut this hole here, because that's what it's going to end up being. I'm going to cut the top half off of one and bottom half off the other. And I'm going to get rid of the majority of the line that is not part of sealing off the top and bottom. And lo and behold, I have a tree. Ta-da! Little stray out of line here. I'm just going to get rid of. Probably also in there. Yep, there we go. And that's all we need. When we cut it out, they should fit in with each other. If you wanted to have a different shape, this one would be a front view, this one would be a side view. You would still need the whole. It should work just fine. All right, that's basically it. Export it, save it, give me the file.